Hello. Welcome back to Farmer Ben's Guide to New Stuff. Dum 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 dum. So why, you ask? Why, when Farmer Ben is telling me about new stuff, am I looking at a screen containing 4 Season 2 heroes? Well, this is my exciting news this morning. Having saved for roughly 3 months, I am a free player after all, I had saved up 1100 Atlantis coins. And these are the 4 Season 2 heroes I managed to save from those 11 summons. Woo! Yeah! Anyway, moving swiftly on to something which is actually good news. No, I will discard them. I wish I could have discarded them. No, never mind. I'm getting off topic. We will move swiftly on. Now, our new tournament. We are looking at the Raid tournament. To see what we can do. Now, in my last video, I set my defense team. I don't know how that went. I don't know how it has gone. This is all very, very new. And new things are, of course, scary. And as it is scary, I am going to share it on YouTube with anybody who wants to watch it. I am quite glad I didn't share my summons this morning because although I'm quite happy to share being scared, I didn't want everybody to hear me crying and see me crying. It would be a small part of me died this morning. Anyway, as I say, I'm not bitter and I'm going to move on. I don't want to talk about it anymore. Well, I do, but I probably shouldn't. So I'm going to move on. So, Raid Tournament. I can see the little red icon has appeared with crossed swords, which means that something is going down in Chinatown. I'm going to click on it. Let's see what happens. Dum, 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 dum. Nothing. Oh, here we are. Right. So I have my raid, my normal raid team, my purple team for taking out yellow tanks. But I can go into tournament, and it says my current ranking, I've scored 0, and my current ranking is 75 to 100%, the worst in the world. Nice. So very, very low so far. Well, I remember the rules-ish. I'm pretty sure I get 4 attacks or something like that. Can I use attack team match rules? Blah, 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 blah. If you are defeated 4 times, you cannot continue in this raid tournament. It reads to me you've got 5 attacks each day, as if you probably start off fighting people who are low, or lower, or just random, and then you move up onto more challenging opponents. We will see if that's the case. Now, one of the key questions I did have 2 key questions, one of which I can see is already answered. My first key question, which I hadn't actually shared with anyone yesterday, but which came to me overnight, was that I wondered if I used my standard raid flags for this raid tournament. And I can see up in the top left-hand corner there that I don't need to, because I have that funky yellow pair of wings or wreath. I'm not sure what that's supposed to be. It's very pretty anyway. I have that pretty yellow flag up in the top corner. It looks nice. It would look really nice hanging from the balconies of my castle. So I like that. That's lovely. I have that pretty yellow flag up in the top corner. So I do not need to use my standard blue raid flags, which is, I guess it's reassuring. It didn't really matter too much either way. I was just kind of curious, really. The other thing I really wanted to make a mental note of was the fact that I have 20 heroes in my hero chest at the moment. And I was just very curious as to whether raid tournament kills count on my heroes towards my hero chest. Who knows? We shall see. Anyway, moving swiftly on. I'm going back into the tournament. I'm going to hit go to battle. Boom, 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 boom. Now, interesting. So a person has popped up, and his name is Gerard. And Gerard, as I can see, is ranked the same. He's 1 higher than me. Harsh. Presumably it's because my name is alphabetically before his. Surely I should be above him if neither of us have achieved anything. But he's got a score of 300. So no, hang on. This is confusing me. Right now it begins to make a little sense. So Gerard has got 300 points up for grabs. I'm assuming that everybody will start with opponents of this kind of caliber that it's either completely random or based on somebody who is quite significantly weaker than me. I don't know for certain, but we shall see. Now, in this case, it would appear that I am almost guaranteed a win, so long as I choose a reasonably sensible team. My team currently is empty, which is obviously not going to do me any favours. I am going to go with Sabina, Tibertus. I'm not a massive fan of Wukong on raids, if I'm honest. I think, given the level of their skills, I probably don't need to panic too much about who I take. I'm probably, because of the special skill increase, I'm mainly going to take heroes who are a little bit slower. I'm not going to take a rebounder because there seems to be very, very little point. I will take Gadarius because he's good fun. And I will look for... Now, I'm a little bit annoyed that I do not have a completed Colin. He would be awesome here. This is one of the things that I had thought about overnight, was he would be good. But I'm going to take Wilbur just to finish me off there. That should give me a nice squad. Ooh, the Wi-Fi has gone crazy. Why does the Wi-Fi go crazy when the Wi-Fi is on and I'm standing next to the box? Who knows? Truly, it is a strange kind of day. Anyway, so last night I was just talking with other people in my alliance, and it was pointed out that one of the most useful heroes, or some of the most useful heroes, could potentially be the ones who use mana against you. Heroes like Merlin, Hansel and Gretel. If you are lucky enough to have any of those event heroes, then there's a real chance that they can... the speed mana boost will mean that they quickly disrupt the enemy's mana and actually start using their special skills to wipe out people who are attacking you, so that your enemy basically wipe themselves out. If that is the case, and I think it would work, that could be a really good combination for anybody out there who has Hansel or Gretel. I would urge you to try and use them in this tournament. Same with Merlin. Oh, go away, messages. Go away. There we are. Honestly, sometimes my phone forgets what's important in life and thinks... Anyway, I digress. So, we are going to apply my team. This is the team I'm taking. Now, normally, as ever, I do tend to colour stack against the central tank. It's a very good idea. The central tank is yellow, so I'm going to take 2 purple heroes to try and boost my damage against them. Now, that shouldn't be a huge issue on this one because I'm quite a lot more powerful than them, but who knows? Sometimes you can be surprised. Let's see what happens. Boom, 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 boom. So, I've hit go, and I'm moving on in now. You can see that they have got a very... and I've got a funky tournament screen. Now, straight away, now I'm looking at the screen, the first thing I notice is that there is a 5 in a row purple just sitting me. At the moment, the tiles are flashing. The wrong tiles, admittedly, but if I move this tile up, boom, I've got my 5 in a row. Oh, and that's it, their first hero is dead. Now, I suspect if I hit the second gem, boom, boom, scream. Right, so Needler, I can't remember the last time I actually fought against anybody who had Needler. Anyway, there we go. Tibertus is their last hero standing. Tibertus was actually my first 4-star a long, long time ago. He is one of the few heroes I ever got from summons rather than a training camp. So there you go. So Gerard is dead. Woo, poor Gerard, bye-bye. So... that is my first attack, and that gets me enemy heroes defeat 200, difficulty bonus 100, score gain 300. Now, as I couldn't choose who I was going to attack, I'm assuming that that will be a standard thing, that if I just carry on, and I will get somebody else. Now, that's immediately moved me into the ranking 50 to 75%, which I'm guessing will mean that I will now face somebody who is in the same category. So somebody who's slightly more advanced than... the last person I fought, but let's see who we get. So, yes, this is a little bit of a stronger team. Still not quite as strong as me, but a bit stronger. Now, that's an interesting team. So for this one, I'm not going to change my team very much because I'm still fairly significantly stronger than them. As I say, I do like to stack against the central tank, and to that end I am going to take another red to replace my purple, and the obvious choice is, for me at least, is to just swap Tibertus for Gormek, because basically they do the same thing. Let's see, there's no nasty surprises in there. They've not gone with a healer. Nobody's gone with a healer so far, which seems a bit reckless. No matter how of your strength, you should be able to find a healer. Anyway, never mind. Again, getting off topic. So we'll see. Now, Little John in the centre. I used to dread fighting Little John. He was always a pain. But to be fair, now that I'm quite a bit stronger, I don't normally worry about him so much. He is still standing, as he tends to. the mana, this should, because of the fast mana boost, mean everybody gets ready. Greymane is ready to go off, or was ready to go off, but now he's dead. Who? Is that Who? Yeah, I think is that Who? I can't remember his name. Let me just click on him. Who is now dead. You will notice as well that I can target people by clicking on them, and that means that my special attacks will aim at those. At the moment, because of Wilbur's special attack, the special attacks are being split evenly, so everybody's getting those special attacks. Interestingly, Sabina removes Wilbur's special skill, or what he does to the enemy. Whose attack is going to reduce the enemy, increase the enemy armor, which is a useful skill. It's not going to be enough here, but it is a useful skill. So that's interesting. So the first thing that's come up is that you can't choose your opponent, which means presumably that your score is going to be limited to the number of raids you win, and progressively the raids are going to get harder and harder. I'm still 50 to 75% at the moment, so I'm assuming that I will get a sort of similar opponent to the last time. Now this one's only got an available score of 272. So it does appear, at least at the moment, as if you don't actually have any real control of the points that you score. I certainly, if it was entirely up to me, I wouldn't choose a team of this kind of strength. I would look for somebody sort of more suited to the team that I am fielding to try and maximise my points. But as that doesn't appear to be an option, I guess I just have to go for it and see what happens. This is presumably a player who has already played. He's got a slight... Ooh, there we go. He might... There we go. So I have managed to offload a ton of tiles into him. I'm not really talking about my tactics here very much. Basically, at the moment, there's not really much to discuss in tactical terms. You can sort of see that I have quite a significant advantage because I have a lot of 4-stars that are prepared. I don't really need to think in any enormous depth about what I'm doing. They do have Grim, who is a very useful 4-star, and as you can see I have Grim too, but my Grim is actually fully leveled up and theirs isn't. So that was very, very brief. Now that then lifts me into 272. Part of me wonders, watching this, whether there is an issue that if you're one of the first people to play, or one of the people who starts doing the raids later on, you get a different advantage to it. I can't... I'm trying to explain that in my own thinking. So if you are one of the first people to start playing in the tournament, does that mean that as you're in the top percentage automatically by the fact you played, does that mean that you are more likely to score more points because you'll get better opponents, or opponents who are worth more? You just one to ponder. Anyway, moving on. Oh my giddy aunt. 272. And they've got 2 stars a tank. I'm not even changing my team for that one. Just to say, guys, don't put a 2-star as a tank. If you've got 3 and 4 stars, they are better as tanks than 2 stars. 2 stars are they're food. You eat them. Your other heroes enjoy them with a nice side salad sometimes. They have got Gretel. Now I talked about Gretel and how I thought she could potentially be quite dangerous. I think here she probably won't be because she wasn't leveled up enough. And she's dead, which is very hard to be dangerous and dead at the same time. But there is that potential there. Again, this is a team that really need a bit of time invested in them to improve their special skills and just generally boost them up. I don't mean to sound derogatory of players who are obviously newer to the game than I am, because they have a very difficult. I have been playing a long time, so of course I have a lot of skills, and a lot of very good heroes. It does take time to achieve that, and we all had to start with this. But there are certain things I would always recommend, and one is don't look for a 2-star as a tank. Try and upgrade them to somebody who will do a better job as quickly as you can. Anyway, there we go. So that's 4 wins. Oh, and here we go. I am going to have to pause my video there. Okay, so apologies all there for the brief interruption by real life. I hope that nobody is too horrified and shocked to find that, sadly, I am a real person, and sadly, real life does get in the way, and it did get in the way today. So, anyway, we shall move on now. When I left you, I had completed my 4th attack, and it was another victory. Hurrah! We victorious, etc., etc., which is quite good. As you can see, I have one flag left. Now, what I did mean, I mentioned earlier on, and sadly I did whilst I wasn't videoing it, was I did collect my Heroes chest. So, interestingly, and quite usefully from my point of view, the Heroes chest is filled up by the heroes you kill in the raid tournament, which is great, because it's basically like getting 5 free raid flags towards your hero chest. And if it normally starts off like as today has started off with me facing 5 fairly easy opponents, it will mean that I get a really good chance of filling up my raid chest very quickly on certain days, which is good because it might even mean I can fit in an extra raid chest, which means more gems, which means more heroes, which means more summons, which means more disappointment and crying. Anyway, so we are going to go back to the raid, and I apologise if there was a sort of sudden bit to the video. As I say, I'm very new to making YouTube videos, and I'm not terribly professional, and that generally goes with my whole life, not just this one. Oh, and now the phone's ringing as well. Not this phone, fortunately. Another phone in the house. Honestly, it's like one thing after another. Anyway, I'm just going to move away from that. I'm going to move away and carry on with this, with not my real life, but my escape from real life, which is basically what this game is to me. Anyway, so we're going to go into battle. The phone's not ringing, thank you, phone. Right, here we go. So we're going to go to battle. And now this team is getting a little bit stronger. They're not massively strong. You can see, though, that they are definitely becoming more formidable. Not horrifically formidable, but definitely a little bit. So just to err on the side of caution. So I could probably beat them with the team that I have up, but because I am going to be sensible, I'm going to swap Melindor. I'm getting rid of my purples. I'll explain why in just a second, and I'm going to bring in a yellow. Now, yellow-wise, normally I prefer to use a sniper because snipers are quicker than hit all heroes. So, but in this case, as they're all going fast manner anyway, I may as well go with Hu Tao, who can go in and do a lot of damage. So here's my lineup. Now, I'm not going to talk about them too much because at the moment it's still not really at the point where I'm having to overthink it too much. Now, they've got Grim as a tank. He's on a 3rd Ascension level 1, so they've already been working a little bit to get him up. Now, first time I've had a player who's a silver player. You can see their thing in their little silver bracket in the top left-hand corner. Dansborough, who I didn't get on my last Atlantis summons, and in which I'm no way bitter about. Skittleskull, not a bad Skittleskull. Skittleskull more levelled up than Grim. I would have been tempted to go with Grim with Skittleskull in the middle to act as a tank. And 2 purples. Now, as they've got 2 purples, that's why I've opted for a yellow instead of a purple in that top corner. So 2 greens to max out the blue, and a yellow to counteract the 2 purples. Though, as I say, at this point, I'm not terribly scared. Anyway, in we go. Now, I'm assuming that as the days go on, it'll be interesting to see how high people climb. I assume for the first day, basically, it's going to be completely random who is at the top and who is at the bottom. Anyway, so we're going to go in purple gem. Well, that's useless. I'm going purple heroes. That wasn't entirely in my favour, but there we go. That's the way the screens go sometimes. Let's try and actually hit him with some greens that will do some damage. Oh, he's dead. Hurrah, hurrah, hurrah. Everybody, there we go. Just throw tiles at it. As I say, at the moment, there's not really all that much to challenge me. Oh, Dansborough, he's done a little ice cube. Oh, he switched off his own mana. Oh, dear. Oh, dear. What a shame. Anyway, never mind. This is the trouble with some of the heroes who are, well, essentially random. You know, sometimes they'll play in your favour and sometimes they won't. And unfortunately, Dansborough, they're really not playing in their hero Tomaxi's favour. Skittleskull, boom. Oh, everybody's weakened. Never mind. It's not going to make much difference because Skittleskull, and there we go. So at the moment, so it was a very interesting start to my journey through the raid tournaments. I earned myself up into 5 to 10%, which is, I'm assuming, pretty good. But then I haven't actually fought anyone yet who I would have said was especially challenging. So I suspect the raid tournament will become more interesting in the next day or two as people sort of gravitate to where they would actually naturally be on the table. So it will be interesting to see if I can maintain a position high up or whether I drop down onto a lower position. I am intrigued. We shall see how this continues. But for now, I should actually probably go and deal with all the real life stuff, which I'm frantically trying to avoid by playing this game. May I just say briefly, peace out, and may death come swiftly to your enemies. Goodbye! Oh, I've said goodbye too soon. No, I have done it again. Hang on, here we are. I will try that again. Goodbye!